With the 15th pick and with the 26th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins select Dwayne Haskins, Montez Sweat.
Welcome, all my fellow Redskin brethren and sister. I am your man and resident Redskins fan, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on the Redskins Report. Quickly, wanted to come and ask you a question, and I think it's of relevance. It's late in the season, and as you get later into the season, there's a little bit of roster turnover. You have injuries, guys going on to the IR. Other teams disappointed with some of their players. They're releasing those guys. They become available. And I was thinking to myself, as I saw this former first-round pick sitting here, should the Redskins inquire and potentially sign ex-first-round pick Vernon Hargreaves III as he was released by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after he was benched on Sunday for reportedly not hustling. Now, he kind of confirmed that maybe he wasn't hustling as hard as he should have been on a play in the game that got him benched. He ultimately was put back into the game due to an injury. But this is a guy that, if you remember, Vernon Hargreaves III, a former first-round pick of the Buccaneers back in 2016 out of the University of Florida, very talented football player, has not lived up to the first-round billing in Tampa Bay, but hasn't been absolutely garbage. I think a change of scenery will do him some good. Less expectations. You get to go somewhere, start fresh with a blank slate. I'd like to see if the Redskins could kick his tires. We need cornerback help, let's face it. And you give this guy a 7-game, 6-game audition to finish up this season. You like what you see, you bring him back. If you don't, you move on from Vernon Hargreaves III. I think it's a win-win for the Redskins if they can find a way to ink a deal with this guy, get him onto the roster, and see what they have. Because this cornerback position, we can all agree, is a sore spot for this Redskins football team. We are not deep there. We do not have a lot of depth. We don't have a ton of talent there either. I mean, right now, we have Dunny, Quentin Dunbar, and really that's about it right now. We don't have a lot of guys that we feel good about. Fabian Moreau, I think we all feel like probably isn't a very good cornerback right now at this point. Lacking confidence in the slot, and out wide, I think he's been even worse out there as he's been in the slot. We know Josh Norman is washed, and his time in Washington is really on borrowed time at this point. The hourglass is upside down, and the sand is slowly dripping out, and there's 7 games worth of sand left in that hourglass, and once those 7 games are up, so is his time in Washington. So right now you're looking at a cornerback situation that looks like Jimmy Moreland and Dunny, and then really that's it. You really don't have a lot of guys that you look at and say, okay, these are guys that can spill into the future. Now, we signed a couple of guys, Simeon Thomas and some of those guys, but honestly speaking, do you think those guys are going to be around next year? I don't know. So the way I look at it, we have a huge gaping hole in need at corner. There's a former first round pick sitting there out on the scrap heap. I'm pretty sure we're not the only team interested. I don't even know if the Redskins are interested. We should be interested. What do you think? Should the Redskins pursue Vernon Hargreaves III after being released after Sunday's game? This is a guy that I think has a lot of potential. He's very young, okay? Didn't make it out of his rookie contract. So again, this is a guy that obviously was good enough to be a first-round pick. And I think the talent is definitely there. I think there's a little bit of a lack of confidence. But again, sometimes a change of scenery is what the doctor ordered. Look at what we've done with a guy like Eric Flowers. I mean, change of scenery, change of position, and all of a sudden this guy looks like a very viable candidate at left guard. Maybe the same thing could be said for Vernon Hargreaves. maybe a move to the inside as a slot on a different team is what he needs. Maybe just a different team and a change of scenery, and you kick him out wide and he plays really good football. Who's to say? But all I'm saying is it won't hurt. It can't hurt for the Redskins to take a look at a guy that could potentially help them, not just for the remainder of this season, because that's a wash, but really into the future is what that would be for. And so what do you think? Should the Redskins pursue Vernon Hargreaves III, or should they continue on with what they have and address it via the draft? And just because you go out and get a guy like VH3 doesn't mean you don't still need to address it via the draft. Why can't you do both? So what do you think? No or yes? All right, nay or yay on Vernon Hargreaves III. Leave it in the comment section below. Love to hear your thoughts and input on the Redskins maybe pursuing a guy like Vernon Hargreaves III. I am a Redskins fan, etched in my burgundy and gold. Redskins spirit will never die. Redskins spirit will never fold. Until we meet again, hail to our beloved Washington Redskins. Thank you guys for joining me. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to Louie T Network if you haven't already done so, and also make sure you share this video if at all possible. Until next time, you guys have a good one. Take care.
Louie T Network.